Hello, this is Beanie here. How are you? Just like to check that you can see my screen and you can hear me. The screen that you are seeing is Market Insight November 2025. If yes, please type 1 on the chat, and this is how you can interact with me. Have you started your holiday? Because today, Sing versus Yen, JPY, is 120. Should be going Japan, isn't it? I was in Hokkaido in October. It was 117. When I came back, I just came back from Bangkok and Hua Hin. I wasn't at Hua Hin, but I was at this nicer beach which is called Cha Am for holiday and my friend's wedding. It was a very nice place, and I'll be going on leave again for a business trip. I'd rather not on leave, right? In to Sabah and Malaysia, parts of Malaysia, because we're expanding to Malaysia. And lastly, New Year, I'll be spending in Japan again. Yeah, bear attack in Japan. Yes. Okay, luckily, I think I'm driving, so I think still fine. I hope so. All right, so let's get started. I wanted to do a bit of a market insights. I just want to go through a few things first while I'm waiting for more to join us. Okay, before we start, let's take a look at the disclaimer here. So this is the disclaimer. Whatever that's being said here, it's not financial advice, because I'm not qualified to provide any. I'm just sharing what I see on the charts. And if you do have TED, if you are my students, you know what I'm talking about. And at the same time, I hope that you can be my students, and we can take a look at the market together. And I hope that I can have the pleasure to guide you along. So this is really my thoughts here. All right. Okay. So let's talk about today's content. We saw some volatility. We saw some correction. Is it something that we want to be alarmed about? Okay, and then going forward, and of course, special deals. All right. For those who want to see me, I'm still in my jogging, running wear, because I went for an exercise just now after I've ended my 5:30 session. So not very convenient to show myself. I'm still a bit. I'm very stinky right now and wet, but I just wanted to do this session. Okay, I exercise now every morning, and then I try to do one more in the evening. Okay, different exercises. Then I trade FX, stocks, indices, Singapore, Hong Kong, and US. Yes, what time do I sleep? About 11:30, 12. What time do I wake up? About 6:20. Luckily, no more school already, so I do have the luxury to sleep until about 6:45, 6:50 before I get up. And can I retire? I think yes, but do I want? No, I do not want to, because I think that there's so many things to do, and I really love the market. I love to talk to people. I love that at this stage of my life, I am bringing some hope, all right, to my friends. A lot of them are near to, I wouldn't say retirement, but then at the age, right, that they are very expensive, and then worried about being chopped anytime. So they are looking at some form of a skill or things to do when they retire, or if they are ex. So quite a lot of my friends they said that when they trade with me together, or I help them to put in their trades, they found hope because then they see that this is something that they can do for the rest of their life. I hope that this is something which I mean, I can do so for you. So this is why I'm sharing. I'm doing a lot more public sessions. Last time, no, but now a lot more public sessions. Okay, but to be also very frank, in these public sessions, I hope that you can take my course, and I'm proud of the courses that I'm doing, and as well as the 7 coaching sessions that me and my trainers are doing. So we do speak to, in terms of webinars, right? We do look at the markets every day in a week, except on a Friday, and we look at the variety, whether it's Forex, gold stocks, whether it's US, Hong Kong, SG, and of course then we have a lot of automations, and that's why we are able to do that. Okay, now if you do have questions, please remember to type it in the chat box, and I appreciate if you can just like this session, so that more people can watch it later on. That they can find whatever that I'm speaking about helpful to them. And at the same time, if you do have questions and you want me to tackle them, please write them down so I can plan what I'm going to talk about, because I will be ending the sessions about 8:45 to 9, not exceeding 9, because the students have another sessions to go. And also, if there are things that I can't answer because it's into a scope of financial advice, pardon me that I won't be able to answer that. Okay, so meanwhile, do leave me your questions. I'm just going to go through broadly what I plan to do. I want to look at the US, Hong Kong, and SG stock market, especially the indexes, and then talk about the dollar strength and why it is important. I know some of you might not be trading the FX, but the FX is a very important component for us to understand the overall market movement. Okay, and of course that recently we have the yen weaknesses. So before I went on my holiday, I was talking about yen weakening. We were joking that, or rather not joking, I'm long Japan already. This long means to visit Japan for holiday, right? I'm long Japan this year, and partly because of the yen continued weaknesses, and how could you trade that? All right, and of course that BTC as well, which I talk about BTC being bearish when it was near to 110, above the 100,000 level, and it really dropped. All right, and lastly, if you can stay true, I just want to go through the Top Pro and the promotions that we are launching, and as well as the confirmed price increase next year in Jan 2026. Now, so these are things I want to talk about. If you do have any questions, please just ask me. So first one, I thought that it's good to just talk about STI. Anybody interested in STI? Okay. Now, along the way, if you do have questions, you let me know, all right? Now, this is STI here. Whatever they are seeing here, right, is the chart, is TAT. TAT, T-A-T, is the indicators and the strategy that we are using. And that's basically how we trade, right? There are certain things I won't be able to mention, pardon me, but, as far as what I can, I'll try to talk about that. Okay, so let's start off with the weekly chart of the STI. Or rather, I think that I want to just talk about the monthly chart of STI. That I'm doing quite a lot of work for SGX, and one of the things that was being talked about is whether STI can go to 10,000. I think that they are not even looking at 5,000, they're looking at 10,000. I'm not sure whether this is possible, but I just want to present an unbiased view to you. It's about this base here, and this is not the first time that I talk about this base here, but this is a monthly chart. That means that one bar is 1 month. So we look at the start of this high here. So that's about 07, and until now that's 2025, right? So 2025 minus 07, we're talking about how many years? I think that's about 18 years. Did I get my math correct? I just want to make sure. Yes, I do. It's 18 years of base building, and finally it's broken. All right, now usually when we take a look at this base here, and depending on how you want to identify this base, if you put a line chart and you try to imagine that this could be a cup and a handle, or you doesn't want to see that as a cup and handle, then recently it's a very elongated, lengthy, inverted head and shoulder, whatever it is a confirmed breakout. Okay, that means that it confirmed breakout of this base of 18 years, and that from 2018, right, to 2025, that's about 7 years. We have the 7 years of a cup and handle pattern, whatever it is. All right, the most optimistic, okay, I use the word called most optimistic way of evaluating the possible price movement of the STI in terms of the potential target. Again, this is a very, very optimistic way of evaluating the price target, is to measure from the low to the high of this base and then move it up to from the highest point, and that's the projected target, which is about 5,800 for STI based on this 18-year-old base. Okay, now, but if I were to do the same thing and then project that to the inverted head and shoulder here, so roughly like that, right? You can just move down a little bit if you want a little bit of a more conservative projection. Let me just do that and then put it up here. Then we are probably talking about STI heading towards the 4,600 to 4,700, even to the 5,000 level. Okay, so that's how I look at STI. In fact, that it became one of the quite attractive, nice trending play. Okay, nice trending play, right? And we do have on the weekly chart a signal here, which is on the long signal, and then on the daily chart, we during this time here when it was April, which was the time where Trump threatened tariffs with China, and then when it came down, and that was when I was telling my students that STI moved to a very, very nice support level, and I think some of them got in STI about index level 3004, right? And they went on an ETF, and I think that they're still collecting dividends and still holding on the position. Okay, now the question is that how do I judge the strength of STI? How do I know that STI is strong, right? Take a look at this blue line here. I will not be able to, William, I'll not be able to explain what is the minor D or major D, right? So this is our method. To know this, you have to take our course, unfortunately. But just to share with you is that as long as price doesn't move below, okay, doesn't break below this blue color zone here, then the current trend that you are seeing STI will still remain intact. That means that it's still going to be up. Okay, I give you an example because in TradingView we could do a rollback. Okay, we could just show you what happened. All right, so for example, back in around October period, right, we saw that there was a bit of a correction. And then the system, which is the TAT, right? The TAT system is mapping this whole blue color zone here as a possible support. So as long as it doesn't stay below it, that means it doesn't stay below and hit down. As long as it can stay around here and eventually turn up, right, then the trend will continue. So we see a very healthy trend with STI, because it's one of those prettiest trend here, because it has a higher high, and it broke out a base as well, and a higher low and a higher low. So as long as it can stay supported by this zone here, it will continue to maintain that uptrend. So you can see, for example, it goes supported and it moved up and then hit that blue zone again. You saw that. Let me just roll back a little bit, right? Because do you want to continue later by saying no, leave? Okay, so the whole idea is that because TED, right, it's able to predict all these levels in advance. We're going to see these levels ahead, right? So when it was here, we roughly know that if price hit here and rebound, then the trend will continue. Okay, so just to roll back to let you see it hit that nicely and the levels continue to move, and then right now it's printing a support of 4,467 to 4480. So STI trend is healthy. Okay, it's one of those where I believe that it's a healthy movement. That means that every time it goes up, there's a correction. That's healthy. It goes up, there's a correction. And the correction is at a healthy point. So then we probably expect a correction to be until here. Okay. And because of this, I think that there was a few stocks that I covered. Anybody can remember the few stocks? I just want to talk about that. Hong Leong Asia, I think that I covered that when it was around 160. Okay. It went to high of 270, and the other one was also with TED, right? Where is my Kappa? Okay, why I didn't have it here? Okay, the other one was Kappa. I think that was being covered when it was in the weekly chart. I believe that it was here that I talk about it, and right now it's still at a $10 region, and even if it comes back down, right, these are the whole chunk and a whole chunk and a whole chunk of a support level, the whole Kappa. So these are all predicted plausible support level. You can see how heavy these support levels are. So we had a long signal in Kappa here. And yes, lastly, Raymond was talking about CSE. Yes, CSE was also one of the stocks that I pointed out. And all these stocks that I pointed out, right, they are not belonging to the bank, right? They are not belonging to the STI index, because you have to understand, right now we have the new index. Okay, it's called the NEXT, NEXT, the NEXT, right? And the government is pumping in 5 billions. All right, to push the local stock market, to push the indexes. So one of the way, I mean, the thing is, when I'm sharing and talking about this tech signal, so this was the signal that was given by TED, right? And that's when I talk about it, CSE. That's about 72.5, and right now it's trading $1. But the reason, I mean, it's I will give you the reason why I like to take a look at that. But again, that, you know, it's because of this huge 10-year base that was broken out. Okay, of course, then I hope that CSE continue to go higher, because this would be the next zone that I'm looking at. But also, I don't know whether it will be there. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that STI, it's really one of those most bullish index here. Any question? If not, I would be moving to HSI. Anybody interested in HSI? I know that today I covered that. I covered HSI, but I thought of doing it again, right? Okay, so let me just do HSI in terms of an empty chart, right? And usually I don't start off with the monthly chart, but I brought up HSI bullishness when I think it was here. All right, when we first started HSI here and then here and then here and everywhere, right? Later on, I'll let you see the TED predicted level of HSI. Okay. However, if you were to just take a look at the monthly chart and then draw that, okay, so this is how we draw that, and then just stick it very nicely here. It's not surprising for HSI to find a bit of a resistance or like a bit of obstacles around this level, because it's actually near to the long-term trend line, and the long-term trend, okay, it's still down for HSI, okay, because if you see this as a high and this is a high, right? So this is a lower high, this is a low, this is a lower low. So this point is lower than the previous low, and in fact this point here is still a lower high. Okay, it doesn't exceed this high point yet. However, if we take a look at the near points, okay, near points like this one here, then yes, HSI is showing a reversal. Reversal means that if we just count in the nearer point, then this is a lower high, this is a lower high, so that's the downtrend here. That somewhere around here it starts to flip to do a higher high, and that's where I was getting more bullish on HSI when it's close above this high point here. All right, so overall, HSI is not like STI. It is still in its downtrend, the main big one. However, it is showing up already. All right. I know that it's a little bit slow to say that it's going up, because then we already been going long HSI here and here and here, and I think somewhere around here, right? If I'm not wrong. At this point, will I be that aggressive? No, because then we are very near to the long-term downtrend line already. The space isn't that wide, okay? But if you take a look at from the TED point of view, that means that from the predicted levels point of view, and in terms of trend point of view, then what is happening to HSI is that it is still on an uptrend. Okay, so this is still an uptrend, right? It's still making a higher high, and then this is still making a higher low. As you can see, right, from the weekly chart, we had a bullish signal here on the weekly chart. Then later on was all from the daily chart already. But you see, even if HSI is to come down here to the 22,800 or 21,700, all these are all support levels for the HSI. It is still attractive in a way if it can come down here, because if you look at history, each time when the HSI moved down, and this was something that I shared in the afternoon with my class, was that when it comes down, right, it goes down by a 20-ish%, okay, 22%. Some where it moved down here, it went like maybe about 20%, right? And then this time here, it went down by about a 16%, okay? So if you take a look at HSI, by moving down let's say an average, we have 22%, we have 20%, we have 16%. We just take an average of a 20% or even 18%, right? So coming into this blue support level, like this is about 16%, and then going here, so this is about 20%. So even if it is to come down here, the system will still be regarding HSI as an uptrend. It's just not very good to know that it's going to drop from 25 to 22. But even if, okay, I'm not saying it will, but even if it is to come back down, right, it is still considered as an uptrend. Okay, and this is the reason why I like systems, okay, because the systems give us a non-biased way to look at that. We are not scared, because the system is still showing that the trend of HSI is still green, is still bullish. Okay, it's sort of like pointing us to the right side of analysis, and we are not going to deviate from what the AI is saying. Okay, the AI is just telling, hey, look, objectively, okay, this is it, right? These are the levels that are meaningful to us. Okay, all right, so going and what we will do is we will just cascade the analysis levels by levels or one by one. Okay, and I know that it's a little bit more confusing here, because that's where the charts came a little bit more confusing, and that's where I need to let you know a little bit, right, on how to analyze the chart. Okay, so far what this says here with all these lines and all this stuff, right, is that it is at a confusion state. Okay, so basically that's what is said here. For example, we had a bullish signal here. Okay, so this was that bullish signal, and it hit the TP. Then after that, what happened? We had the bearish signal. So that's why now it's on its way down. Okay, so even if it's on its way down, if you take a look at the whole interaction here, all right, everything, whole interaction, even if HSI is to move to this level here, this level here, this level here, they are all support levels. They're all major support levels. It also means that when it moves to these levels, HSI is still considered an uptrend. Okay, why do I make this remark here? Take a look at this trend here. Take a look at this trend here. Even if it's to move to this level here, it is still an uptrend. Okay, it's just that we don't like to see correction. We don't like to see that it goes 25. It has to come down to 21, 22, something like that. Okay, we don't really see that in the US side, because US, yes, they correct, but then a little bit while it just moved up. Okay, but then HSI is just a little bit different in a way. Okay, but just remember, if it's ever come back down, it is still considered an uptrend. Okay, well, Nikkei 225, yes, I can do that. So let me just go to 8cap. Just to say that the session is initiated by 8cap. 8cap is a broker that is huge, international broker, and they are focused on education. So that's why they like to educate their clients or anyone on what's happening in the market. So I'm doing the session for them. So they initiated the session. So thanks to them that I'm talking to you guys. Okay, now yes, we can do Nikkei 225, and then you can also trade Nikkei 225 with 8cap. They have this JPN 225, which is their index, and we are just going to have a look at that. And later on, I'm just going to go into I think I'll just go into S&P 500. If you want, we can just move to NASDAQ, because we're going to just take a look at what's happening to NASDAQ and S&P after NVIDIA earnings. Okay. All right. So this is Nikkei 225, right? Now, what I always like to do is I always like to take a look from the day chart point, and then after that, right, I will trade using the 1 hour or the 4 hours. So this is what we are doing usually. But in this kind of session, I just wanted to give you a little bit more of a viewpoint, a little bit more of an understanding. That's why I'm moving into the week. Usually, I don't do the week, but just using the weekly chart as a reference. Okay, so we are multiple time frame. We do cascade down to trade in the 1 hour, because very much it's more of the trading style. Okay, so for Nikkei 225, right, we had a bullish signal. So what are these signals, right, measuring? Okay, it's measuring the end of a correction. If you see this as a bullish signal, that means that our signals is very special. We know that, we know that, or rather it's quite easy observation, right? That price every time goes up will come back down, goes up will come back down, right? So the best point to buy, okay, it's around here. Okay, why do I say that, huh? You don't want to buy here, you don't want to buy here, you don't want to buy here, all right? Because, you will have another one more leg of it coming down. So the best point is to buy here, before it goes up. Not at the lowest, but just slightly above the lowest point. And then after that, boom, off it goes. So that is the best point here. So you can see that there was quite a lengthy correction on the weekly chart. And then the best point to buy is here, because that's where it just reject the low a little bit, and after that it just keep on going. But this is the weekly chart here. So we do have this buy signal here, bullish signal, to tell us that this consolidation has been broken and price is likely to move out of that. Okay, so that happens around May this year, right? But along the way, we do have here as that same bullish signal, and that Nikkei hasn't been really correcting much, okay, because every time it goes up, it comes down like that, okay? So we do trade the Nikkei from the lower time frame. However, this time it's a little bit different. Now, focused on the blue line here, the blue 48911. Okay, so this blue line is the same as STI way. What it says here is that price must not close below the blue line. Okay, if it does, then the uptrend that we are seeing here will be gone already. Later, when you look at gold, right, you can understand what I'm talking about. Okay, so it didn't how to say, stay below the blue line. It struggled along the blue line, and this is something that I'm very proud, because we can predict the blue line in advance. Okay, let me just roll back for you and see. Okay, leave, and then I just roll back and let you see, right? So for example, when price was here, we could already know that 48911 was a very important level. Okay, so this is a very important level here, right? 48911, right? And then price traded around here and then rebounds. Okay, so what happened is that Nikkei isn't that strong anymore, because there are various levels here, meaning that this is first blue line, so this is second blue line, and then this is the third blue line, right? And by right, for Nikkei to stay strong in the trend, right, it shouldn't be coming near to the lowest blue line. Okay, it should just hover here and then rebound, which it did try. It tried to do that, right? So because of that, right, it hit that lowest support level, and then when it goes up, right, this originally a support level became a resistance level. So it need to overcome this resistance level in order for Nikkei to move higher. Okay, now so I do not know the context of the question, but what I can only say is that based on TED, all right, the uptrend is still valid, but then it's being resisted by this one here. So usually what we do, right, is that we will go into the lower time frame. Like for example, previously the lower time frame had a bullish signal here and it went higher, and then after that, right, there's a bearish signal here and it went lower and didn't manage to hit TP, just missed a little bit, right? And that what is happening right now here is that these are the resistance level. RES is resistant, and then this red color one is also resistance, right? So it's saying that in order for this downward structure, okay, that means in order for this downward correction, right, to reverse, to move up, then price will need to close above 50797.75. So that's how exactly it is, right? Meaning that if it doesn't close above it, okay, let me just erase it. If it just get resisted here, so this is a resistance, right? If it just get resistant here, it just zoom, come back down, right? So we're going to see Nikkei continue to consolidate, okay? But if one fine day it goes like boom, like that, oh yes, then it is likely to complete this downward structure. But again, that the levels will shift. That means that TED will keep on predicting new levels based on the price movement, the current price movement. It will keep on predicting that level, right? So if today I talk about 50,797, the levels might not be valid anymore. It, depending on price movement, it might move down so that we get a lower entry price. Okay. All right. Okay, so that's Nikkei 225. I just thought that we can have a little bit of a look, right, into S&P 500. Now, this is a market make index, meaning that the US market is not open right now. It's not trading right now. It's only the market make index, and the futures, the index futures, are trading at this moment. So the prices that you see here, it's very much in sync with the futures prices. Okay, so let's take a look at S&P 500, and then if you want, then we can have a look into Nasdaq. All right, now same thing. We have a look into the weekly chart. So we had a buy signal here. That means that yes, there was a correction, right? But somewhere around here at this bar here, our system turned bullish and it go bum higher, right? Okay. There was a prediction of the target levels at 6769 here, so it's about here already. So actually, the bullish signal, the bullish target, the signal, right, was bullish, and then there's a TP, and that TP hit already. So this was that TP level here, right? That's why it started to consolidate a little bit more here. And it doesn't mean that once it hit the TP, it cannot go higher. It's just like this TP is a reference point for us to take profit, or rather that we shouldn't be that aggressive. And that's why I've been telling my community that yes, I'm starting to lock in profit for my trades based on this TP level here. Okay, but it doesn't mean that we are going to run. We want to know whether the trend has reversed, right? Whether this uptrend here that we are seeing, whether it has reversed, or what are the danger point to cause it to reverse. Okay, so we had another one more bullish signal here. That was a recent bullish signal. All right, and it went and then it hit this near TP level. So that means that after this bullish signal, right, this one here, right, it's moved up, okay, and then it go bum, and then it hit the TP level at the high, okay, and after that it starts to drop, okay. And then what is this green line here, right? So this green line here, because the trend bar here, right, it's starting to move higher. That means that this is what we are seeing, right? We're seeing a low and a higher low here, which is higher than the previous high, and then we're seeing a higher high, right? So that's why the trend bar is still showing that it is an uptrend. So in summary, S&P 500, even with this drop, it is still an uptrend. Okay, I repeat, even with this drop, it is still an uptrend. However, what is not very comfortable, all right, is that in a strong uptrend, there should be blue lines. Okay, so this is how we differentiate this using the lines here to tell us what kind of trends we are expecting. So in a strong uptrend, right, we should be seeing blue lines, but what we are seeing, it's only this bright green line, which is not a very, very comfortable sign to start off with, right? That means the trend isn't deep yet. That means the trend is a little bit weaker, all right? It's still an uptrend, but it's just not that strong as what we've seen in Nikkei or what we've seen in STI, okay? It's still up, right? But it's just not that strong, okay? So in other words, right, what Ted is predicting is saying that if ever it goes zoom down here, right, below this 6653 level, again, this is a market make data. We need to go back to take a look at the S&P 500 indexed. So this one is just the market make index that tracks quite closely to the actual S&P 500. So what it's saying is that we need actually to stay above this green line here, okay? And in order for S&P 500 to continue, okay, I repeat, right, to continue to go higher, okay, then at this moment, it needs to close above this resistance and need to close above this whole chunk of the resistance. So it's facing a lot of resistance. That means that it has a lot of resistance, right, along the way. So with Nvidia, all right, the pre-market, which is the futures market, is right now trading higher, okay, because then it's found a support level, right? And in fact, that last night, before the US market opens, I really sent a message to the community to say that we are going to find a support, okay, because the weekly higher time frame already at a support, but the pre-market after Nvidia is now trading higher, but it's trading right into a resistance. Okay, you see that? It's trading right into resistance, and even if it goes dun, 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 it goes up, right? We still have another one more resistance to clear, and that's about 6,824. So it's not like where STI or where Nikkei has blue color lines, but this one is, there's a lot of resistance it needs to clear. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is to really observe a little bit, okay, because before I went on leave, right, on a trip, and I really updated my students, and I said that this time around, the US index is a little bit different. Okay, why do I make the remark that it was a little bit different? Because you look at each time, right, that it's from this uptrend here, right, each time that it moved up of a high. Okay, so for example, right, so this was a high, it moved up. So what happened was that when it moved up of the high, it retested and then it goes up, it gets supported and it goes up. Okay, so same thing here, right? It broke the high and then it goes up and then it tested back. It never actually break back down. Okay, you can see every time the high, it never really tested. Even at this point, right, was what Trump just threatened again on the tariffs, all right, to China, but it went down and it is moved back up. But this time around, okay, what we need to observe is that this high here, so this was the high, right, was broken upwards, okay, and it stayed a while, and after that it's actually moved below it. Okay, it went below the high. That means that from the past uptrend, right, the high wasn't broken, wasn't rejected, but this time around the high was broken and was rejected. We call this a wash and rinse. That means it was a wash and rinse, right? And even with today pre-market, okay, you see that the pre-market with Nvidia results being known, okay, it was very stunning, just off the shelf. Yet the US futures market isn't very enthusiastic because it didn't unbreak, right, this high point here that was broken. Okay, you can see the rationale here. So again, that if you have TED, then you would have this level here. You would also have this level here, and that all these are all the resistance levels. Okay, all right. Any question here? I hope that this is useful because I'm giving you the logic to consider, all right, to understand. Okay, so that you can take these to analyze your own. And this is what usually we will do, trainers, right? To look at the market live and then to update our community on what we should be looking at in the market, so that it's a constant guidance, and this is what we call as hand holding. That means that we are not looking at things that's already happened, or we are looking at things that not happen, and then they ask us questions. So this is part of how we train our community. Lower low form as compared to the latest low. Yes, you're right. I think that this is what is being said here. So this is the lower low. Okay, all right. So that's really a lot of resistance here. And you look at Nasdaq. Nasdaq is the same. We do have a little of bullish signal here. All right. It's moved up. okay, but you know, it is not that strong here. Okay, so there are really a lot of obstruction it must clear. So as long as it can clear like that, okay, when the market opens, that's good. Okay, so the whole idea is that Nikkei, sorry, the whole idea is that Nasdaq or S&P 500 is still in an uptrend. Okay, the only thing that I'm not too happy about is that, you know, it's right now still below the place that it broke up, right? And then it hover here and it broke down again, and then we're gonna see whether this one can break higher. Okay, if it can, okay, good. If it doesn't, then we might have a shoulder ahead and a little bit of a shoulder here for that reversal pattern to happen. Okay, all right. Okay, so will that be are we in a deep fall? Not yet, but what are the things that at this moment that you want to look out for? Is this point here, is this level here, right? So this high here, it must break above. Okay, it has to break above to say that, okay, it is bullish, and then this trend will continue. Okay, as you can see, right, the system is drawing a lot of resistance. You know, not only that, the historical levels, but then by itself, TED is also drawing in that resistance. And I said, if it should be strong trend, we should see the blue lines coming in, but it is not yet. It hasn't shown. It's gone. The blue line is gone. Yeah, so it doesn't show that strong uptrend yet. Okay, all right, so that's the three indexes. Any questions? If you have questions, do let me know. Let me know which the next one that I'm going to cover. Okay, I'm just going to cover a little bit about the dollar strength just very, very quickly, and just to explain why the yen, right, was the best trade. Okay, do we trade FX? Yes. In fact, that the community, we do almost everything, all right, as long as they can move, right, and we can make money. Okay, so this is dollar index, and the dollar index, when I came back and last week was on leave, and then this week the first thing that I highlighted on the dollar index was this optimal bull that's going to happen. Okay, the first thing that I highlighted, that means that the dollar it's gaining strength, and one of the things I remarked is that the market doesn't like a strong dollar. Now, why is it that the market doesn't like a strong dollar? Very simple. The market, it's excited because of rate cuts, or possible rate cuts, or going rate cuts. Okay, now if there should be a continued rate cuts, then what happened? The dollar would weaken, right? Because then the interest rate will go down. People don't want more US dollar. That's the simplest way to look at it. And then the dollar will weaken. But then why is it that this dollar index that's measuring the strength of the US dollar, why is it moving higher? What has changed? Okay, so that's why we have a bullish signal here, and the system TED is predicting that we might see 101.35. Okay, but what is very interesting is that, I think I mentioned this before, is that we already was able to predict the resistance of dollar at 100.27. Okay, I really have to show you. I mean, this is something that I'm proud about because I designed the entire system. I really have to show you that we can predict this level much earlier in advance. Okay, that means that when the dollar was trading at 97, we already knew that it's this level here, 101 point something. Then it moved down, continue to predict, and then you see the actual prediction stays at 104.3, right? And you hit 104.3. And then that was when we were talking about that it's being resisted. Okay, and as long as the dollar doesn't close above this level here, it will still be weak. But what happened if it closed above, right? That means the dollar will start to gain its strength. So you see, that it's hovering around this level, and right now it's actually at this level here. Okay, so in other words, right, if on the weekly close, today is Thursday, so let's say for example this week or next week, then the dollar closed above this level here, then we're going to get a dollar strength. Okay, we're gonna get a dollar strength here, which is not a very good news for the stock market. Okay, and we might even see the dollar heading towards 101.35, and that's why I say that we have the best trade, which is a long dollar yen. So we had a long dollar yen trade, and there was one of the nicest trending trade, which is really like low hanging fruits. The first signal that we had was here, which is a day signal. After that, we had this bullish movement here on a long dollar, and it continued to break so much higher. Now, one of the things I mentioned is, if you do observe that every time when price moves, it always goes up and then comes back down, goes up, comes back down, goes up, comes back down, right? And each of this down is the best chance to enter. And that's where TED, right, is being designed to enter in such a situation. That means every time it goes up, it comes down, then this is the optimal point that is pointing us for us to enter. Okay, so that was around the 20th October period. And if we were to continue to trade in the lower time frame, we do have another one more long signal here. All right, so you just have to catch that trend and then just wait for the animal to appear. And this is a joke, that means to wait for the animal, either the bear or either the bull, to appear. And you can see that even when this one appear, which is the bear, right, is a small bear, it's not a huge bear, we are still predicting that the dollar yen could have support at this level here. So even if it's to come down here, all right, and then if it should point to a bull signal, it is still a long signal for us. Okay, no, as bad doesn't mean it's a good point to short. No, it's not. It's not large bear, yeah, it's a small bear. The small bear is small. It's just more like to say that, okay, you want to lock in some profit, because our large bull here had a long signal, right, at about 154, and then when it goes up here, it's about 157 already. So that's about 300 pips to go, right? Then what do? Then you want to consider some profit take. But you know that there's a whole chunk of a support here. If it ever come back down and then form another bullish signal, it still will continue long. Okay? All right. So the whole idea is, what I'm trying to say is, we want to go for the low-hanging fruits. And so far, yen, okay, for the past 1 month, in this 1 month, okay, in this November month, yen is the best, one of the best trade. It's one of those cleanest, easiest trade to do. Okay, so that's really a very nice trade. And look at the momentum. Even though yen is approaching the high point here, but if you look at the dollar yen momentum, even if it's to come back down, let's say for example, right, it is still a trending trade. Because what we want is, we want to get inside a trending trade, right? And it's really, we don't need to say that, okay, definitely we need to do a crypto trade, or definitely we need to do a stock trade, right? We just have to do a low-hanging fruits trade, and that's most important, isn't it? Let me just answer the question. So L bear or bear, then good point to short, right? I will cover this in our in my support session on Wednesday. You can ask me that, okay? Because when we short, what I want to do is, I want to short in the direction of the trend, okay? I don't want to short against it. All right, so okay, I give you an example here. Recently, we do have a sell signal in BTC. Okay, so this is the day signal here in BTC, and the BTC up bear came here, right? Okay, and after that, it reached our target profit. So our bearishness came when it was here, right? Okay, of course that earlier in the lower time frame, we have our signals earlier all the way even until here or here. Okay, now what I like always to apply is that I like to make sure that we do have a bit of a weakness. Like for example, there's a lower low here, and then when price goes up, we have a a lower high, and that's where the signals come in, which is in the direction of the trend. Okay, there was a specific way to apply. Okay, in fact, the BTC, I also updated the community that we are bearish on BTC because of this huge gigantic head and shoulder pattern here, and in fact that there was also the head and the shoulder pattern here, and in fact that here we had that short signal in a 4-hour. So here we go, see that? So we had the short signal at this point here, the large bear. Now the large bear is good because when it happened, all right, it is already in that trend mode. So yeah, it's in the trend mode, right? So you do want to apply that large bear here, right? And then when we have the small bull coming in, what it means is that this is a counter trend. It means it's just for us to lock in some profit. And anyway, in the higher time frame, it's already at the profit target profit already. Okay, so BTC, if you use TED, the signal was all along a short. Okay, so I know that there was a question on Ethereum. What's the question about? ETH USD movement, meaning to have a look on ETH. Usually I like to do on a day chart, and that for Ethereum, you look at the color codes, it's very nice, the blue color here, and it went down, it went up again, and then it got resisted by the blue color, and it starts on its downtrend. Right now it's on its downtrend. The predicted target profit is about 2459, which should continue to fall. All right, I believe that we had a large bear signal, sell signal here that's in line with the trend. So if you have gotten TED, that would be a sell signal, and then the TP is reached for this sell signal here with a small little bull coming in. That's to tell you to take some profit along the way. But if it's continued to go up, and then generate a sell signal, it should be, a sell signal will be part of this downtrend. Okay, so again, that we wait for animals to appear. All right, so look at the animals. Okay, all right. As I said, BTC was a sell trade, the yen was the best trade. I just want to go back into BTC again. Okay, I think the question is that what is the state of BTC right now? Okay, I think this is the question. That means that what is happening to BTC right now? Okay, and that's why I want to use the weekly chart here. I'm not sure whether you remember, for those in my community. Remember when BTC was here, 60 something, I said that it was a long. Okay, it was a long, and then when we had here, it was a long, right? Okay. Take a look at these blue lines here. So these are the blue lines, okay? So these are the blue lines, right? And these are support levels. Now, what this is saying is that even if BTC is to come down here to 72,571, it is still an uptrend. Okay, so system is still recognizing that this is an uptrend. All right. However, do you see that the price had broken below 101? Okay, That means that this 101 was all along a support level. Even 109, 112, right, was all along a support level. And if the trend of BTC is strong, then it should stay at the upper level. All right. Now, the fact is that at this moment, okay, at this moment, right, what it is doing is that there is a weak close below the support level. Okay, below the support level at 101. As I said, right, even if it comes down to 72,500, it is still uptrend. But it means that there is a space here. That means that by closing below 101, it opens up a space for price to fall. Okay, and it also says that price trend, or rather buyers, are no longer that enthusiastic to come in so quickly to buy at a higher level. All right. Now, in other words, the system is predicting that we might have a drop in BTC. Okay, and that level, right, it's 72,500. Okay, so this is what I'm trying to say, and this is what Ted is trying to tell us in an unbiased manner. All right, any question? No, right? All good? Okay, all good. And let me just see what I have to talk about. Okay, so I've done the yen weakness. I've done the BTC. Any questions that you want to look at? Gold. Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah, gold is something. Okay, so you can trade gold with 8 cap. So these are all the price fit in gold, right? Or rather, you see, these are all the instruments that you can trade with 8 cap. You know, a huge variety of instruments here, including gold. Okay. All right, so let's take a look at gold right now. And usually for trading for gold, right, I don't take a look at 1 week. But just in any case, we fired a weak signal. A weak signal here at about 1,900. It goes boom, 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 boom. Okay, to 4,000. All right. But most of the time, I am looking at the day chart and trade that into the 4-hour and 1 hour. Okay. Now, our last bullish signal, right, was here. So that was the last bull signal. But recently, we just had the bear signal for gold. But again, right, very important, right, is that the levels matters. Okay, what do I mean by the levels matter, right? Gold, all along we have been predicting a support of 4,002, and in fact that in my classes we were looking at this level 3,009, and I explained why it was 3,009. It rebounded. Now, I have similar questions from the students today on gold, and I said that it's just trapped inside the region here, okay, with a support of 4,002. That you see how well Ted predicted this level here, and with a resistance of 4,128. Okay, just do a little bit of role play to tell you that these are advanced predicted levels. Okay, they are not drawn as and when it happens. You see, so even at this point here, we already had 4,002 and we had 4,128. All right, even if I were to just play back a little bit here, okay, it doesn't. Let me just do a little bit more. Okay, so you see, even when it starts dropping, we already have 4,002 being predicted already. All right, and 4,128 being predicted already. Okay, so it's in this very restless, very known directional, But it's the same as STI. It's the same as Nikkei. You see this 4002? Gold must not close below this level. And also as a disclaimer, we do have a bit of a buffer of $100. That means that it shouldn't be below $3,900. But at this moment, the market is just trading these two levels with no direction. So it has to play out. Okay, it has to make its base. Okay, make its base here. All right, and then before it's going to do a direction up or down. Okay, so one question is, how would I trade gold now on a lower time frame? That means that if you really want, you have to scalp. Then you have to go to the 15 minutes time frame, or you have to go to 5 minutes time frame, right? Or best you go to the 1 hour time frame, and you scalp it. Okay, for example, there was our long signal. You scalp it, and then when the sell signal, you scalp it. Okay, all right. Then you have to scalp it. All right. That's the only way that you want to trade gold. Okay. You can go to the 15 minutes, and then that was the sell signal. This one here, right, I'll be reluctant to take it, partly because there's a lot of resistance still in play here. All right, so this is the up bull, but it's not the large bull. It hasn't cleared everything yet, so this is a large bear, and after that it came down. Okay, so that's it. All right, so Meta, Dexter, you are referring to Duolingo, right? I still remember Duolingo. I traded that also. DUOL. And I would just want to show it to you that this is how it goes. So for Duolingo, you see our there was a signal, all right, and unfortunately this one was a long bar, because I think that I traded on this up bar here, okay, in the day chart. But anyway, it hit the target profit already. Okay, it starts to go down. Okay, what I don't like, I wouldn't say whatever I like or don't like, but anyway, this is your head and shoulder pattern. Okay, that's it. Right, then I traded on the earnings. Yes, I was here, this one here, when it goes up. Yes, correct. But we do have a bearish signal here, and then we do have it's a very low target profit. This is a 32.77 low target profit. Okay, anyway, you see this cluster of the resistance here. Unless that you can beat this resistance, right, it's gonna be a lot of resistance underneath here. Yeah, it has to beat this resistance. So as far as I'm concerned, this is a downtrend. All right, so I don't know, Dexter, what's your question, whether it's up or down, but then it's a resistance. Okay, last one on Meta. Meta is apparently you can see that I have quite a lot of lines being drawn here. We had I said already, if price should be strong, right, it should stay above the blue line here. Okay, so you can see, right, when Meta was here, it sort of like went up and then stayed above the blue line, came back down, right? Okay, but subsequently you see the price price action. It got resisted by the blue line. Okay, it went down, it got below the blue line, right? And in fact that it went quite totally below the blue line. All right, so we had a sell signal, and then this was the TP. Now if it goes up and it get resisted by the blue line, and this is not very good, because it means that it's a previous support that flipped to become a resistance already. You can see the rollback. It, like before the earnings, it just went higher, get hit resisted by the blue line, and it just came back down. Okay, all along we are predicting that, only unless that if you can close above 649, which is 650, then Meta might move up in terms of the uptrend. But I think right, that if you have TED, you should be able to guess the optimal support level. It's around 535 here. So this is TED, right? It's 535. Even at 535 here, which is our prediction, it is still an uptrend. So this is why I can offer. Best is that you know how to use TED. You have TED, and then these levels come into play. Okay. And of course we will explain how these levels are being predicted. Okay. Alphabet was one of the trade which I brought up to the community. Not only I brought up Alphabet, I brought up Nvidia long, using the same method, which is the red line here. So Alphabet, we have a bullish signal here at 200 plus, and then it went up here. The TP is here, so it's a bit higher today. I don't know, we see how it goes. Okay, all right. Yeah, all right. That's good. I think I covered most of the things. For HS Tech, I covered actually in the afternoon already. I explained HS Tech. So if you are my students and in the community, please refer to my afternoon session. On what I said about HS Tech. Do I do the back test? I've already done the back test and the forward test already with own money. So all these are signals that doesn't repaint. You see it is what you see it. So Alphabet, there was a buy signal here, and that's it. It's part of the uptrend. The down signal here, it is against the trend, so you have to know how to use it. It's not actually to short it, but again, we're going to see whether it goes up to the TP level. All right, so what I like to do is I like to spend a little bit of time to just go through, probably just 10 minutes to go through our program, what I'm using and what the community are using comes from this course here, which is Top Pro. The indicator or the system that we are using is TAT, T-A-T, right? Top Pro is the course that you need to attend. It's good to trade up or downtrend. It's good for any instruments, whether it's Forex, indexes, gold, oil, or stocks. As far as what I've shown you, what it does is that it gives you the signal, and it does give you the screening. That means that you are able to use the indicator, which is TED, right, to screen thousands and thousands of stocks or any trades that show the signal. Okay, it gives you the optimal level, and then it's also predict the levels in advance for you. All right, so this is the new AI. So this would be the screening. That means that you are able to put TED, right, to your watch list or to your defined pairs that you want to monitor in any time frame. All right, and then once there is a signal, then you can either send it to your app, which is TradingView app, or whether to the email, or whether to display that on the chart itself. Okay, so for example, this was done on 10 days ago. You can do Hong Kong market, you can do Singapore market. This is the Singapore market. You can do US market. So to me, it's a perfect tool. To my community, it's a perfect tool, because then it's a scanner, it's a screener. Then you can just use this to go and find for trades that you are interested, including all the way to the 5 minutes or 1 hour or 4 hour. But to get this, it depends on your TradingView plan. So TED, we are able to use and scan in the basic plan, free of charge plan from TradingView, but it's limited to only 50 symbols. However, If you do have the higher plan, then you are able to screen or get notifications for a lot more. So basically, it's controlled by TradingView, not by us. Okay, so I thought that it would be good to let you see a little bit on the video on TED for you to understand more, right? So we have this video here. Let me just do that. Sorry, just wait. Futures market, because I'm just hang on for a while. Okay, let's do that. Very enthusiastic because it didn't unbreak like this high point here. That was broken. Okay, you can see the rationale here. So again, that if you have had, then you would have this level here. You would also have this level here, and you know that all these are all the resistance levels. Okay, all right. Any question here? I hope that this is useful because, I'm giving you the logic to consider, all right, to understand. Money holds power over us, so that you can, take these. Okay, so that was a little bit of a video that we did, just to give you a bit of an idea. Okay, I think there was a few questions on that, right? Whether we need to purchase it. Let me just go through one by one. Okay. Let me just go through the offer here, right? Okay, so this is our promotion. Yes, so this is our promotion. The top pro cost is 1,500. It's online course, so you can look at the modules as and when that you want. All right. What it includes in the course is a TED strategy, and there's a complimentary 12 months hand holding. That hand holding is very important because we're looking at trades, and it's every week, right? 4 times, 3 times, 4 times, 4 times a week. Okay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 4 times a week. And then we have also one lesson with me, especially on the use of TED and the system. So anything that you have questions, please attend the lesson. All right, so it is on offline where you look at the modules yourself, but there is an online where for 1 year where you have attend lessons with me. Okay, and it's every Wednesday at 12:30 p.m. So we are giving you the complimentary complimentary TED for extra 3 months in this promotion. It's a 12 months TED indicator in TradingView, but with this promotion, we are giving you extra 3 months. Okay. Now, last month we were giving 6 months. This month we are giving only 3 months. Next month, in December, they were going to be one more session of maybe a sales preview or something like that. You will find that whatever that we're going to give in December is going to be lesser than now. Okay. Now, second thing that will happen, starting in Jan 2026, Top Pro will have a price increase. The price is likely to be around the region of 2,005 to 3,000. That means it will be a very, very steep price increase. And this one we have already communicated. It's a very firm price increase. Okay, it's just that we are not fixing the price yet. We do not know whether we're going to just price it at 2,000 plus or we're going to do a 3,000 plus, but it will be a very steep price increase. Okay. And unlikely we will not be giving out the extra months of TED. Okay, so if you can, do take it before the offer expire on 30th of November. Now, second thing is that the cost comes with a cashback due by 8cap. Now, this cashback due is a $1,500 SGD in cash, meaning that if you do meet the criteria, the condition, the cash, right, will be given back to you as cash, right, in your trading account. On top of that, the 8cap will also provide you with the cover, all right, of your TradingView Essential Plan that's worth about 155.40 USD. All right, meaning that if you fulfill the requirement for 8cap, they will also be giving you the TradingView plan. If not, then in order to use TED, you do not need to pay for TradingView. All right, but the functions of TradingView would be reduced. That means that you only get the basic function. But if you pay, then you get more functions. All right, such as, for example, if you don't pay, you have only 50 symbols. And this is not restricted by us. It's restricted by TradingView. But if you do pay, for example, on a different subscription, then you do get more symbols. Okay, and the TradingView has the Black Friday deal that's coming tomorrow. So it's worthwhile to consider to see what you want to do, or just to take the 8cap cashback deal. Now, what is this cashback deal? Is for new and existing customers. However, you must use our link. That means that if you don't use our link to get an account, then it will not be valid. So let me just send the link over here. Now, if you are existing 8cap customers, however, maybe that you are not not as our customer, okay, not from TerraSeeds or not from Online Forex Master, you have to go to 8cap, right, to 8cap here, and ask them for a permission. That means that you say that I want to qualify for the Top Pro course. I want to join Bini. Can I have your permission to do that, to qualify for the cashback? Okay. Now, the cashback is that you need to fund 7,000 SGD. That is the minimum requirement. And you need to meet the volume requirement, which is 45 lots in 6 months. 45 lots is from the Forex point of view. However, you can also trade indexes, you can trade stocks as well, but it's a different calculation. Okay. Is it okay? Are our students able to meet the 45 lots? A lot of them can. But what I want to say is that do not sign up for the cost and then thinking that you can get the cash back, and then when you can't get, and then you tell us, I want to withdraw, I want to refund. Strictly no refund. Okay. The two deals are separate, meaning that you sign for the costs, and then we talk to 8cap to say, can you please offer this deal to the community? And then they say yes, and then okay, they offer. If you want to take the cashback, you take it. If you don't want to take it, you don't take it. You can just take the cost only. So the cashback is an added benefit. All right, now very important is that you need to open an account before 30th of December, all right, which is 1 month from where the offer expire. So the offer expire on the 30th of November, and the extra 3 months of TAP, it's only valid if you pay via internet banking or PayNow. Okay, so this one very, very important. You must pay via PayNow or internet banking. Now, lastly, the cashback from 8cap will reduce. Okay, the final amount not known, but it will be less than $1,500 starting in Jan 2026. Meaning that in Jan 2026, our course fee will increase and the cashback will decrease. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that it's a good deal to grab it when it's available. All right. So let me just answer a few questions. We need to purchase our own TradingView platform. Yes. And then once you purchase that, and if you decided to get the cashback deal from 8cap and you qualify, that means you have met the criteria, then you can claim back the amount of money that you pay for your TradingView plan. But they only sponsor up to the essential plan only. Okay. So if we sign up with you, do we have to purchase the TradingView separately? The answer is yes. The cashback applies to existing customer. The answer is yes, but you have to get permission from 8cap, and you have to use our link. Okay. Any other question? So, are we able to use TAP in stocks, in indexes, in whatever? The answer is yes. Will you know how to use it? What is the logic behind underneath it? The answer is yes. Okay. Will there be guidance? Yes. You have 12 months of hand holding. Will you be able to know? I think that 12 months is good enough for you to know. If you do not know after 12 months, I think that then maybe that trading is not suitable for you. Okay. Is the cost fee affordable? Yes, it's $1,500. Will there be a price increase in Jan 2026? Will I still give the $1,500? The answer is no. There will be a steep price increase, including that the cashback due from 8cap will be decreased as well. Okay. How do we know what is the Black Friday deal that 8cap offers? Does 8cap offer a Black Friday deal? I don't think so. I mean, they might offer that separately to their customers, but then I'm not sure what they offer. But this is what we are offering right now. All right. That means that if you miss this offer and you come back next year, it will be a totally very different thing, because we are going to add a lot of functionality to our offers, to our TAP, to everything. So that's why there was a huge increase in the demand, and we think that we have underpriced and we have not increased our price, and our price is very, very reasonable. So we are just reflecting the actual potential actual quality of our products. I think, put it this way. Okay, because I've always made it very, very affordable, and always made it such that you can use the cashback deal to get zero for your cost. But now things have changed. So if you still want to get this deal, do it quickly. All right. Do I need to purchase TradingView to get your tech indicator after I sign up as a student? Do I need to purchase? No. It's a different thing, right? It's a different thing. Okay. So when you sign up for our course, you pay for our course, and our course comes with this complimentary tech indicator. To use tech indicator, you need TradingView. So TradingView in itself, right, has many plans, including free plans and paid plans. So the free plans, can you use tech indicator on the free plans? The answer is yes. However, there will be limited functionality. The limited functionality is that it's limited by TradingView, not by tech indicator. Okay. Now, if you pay for the higher plan, you do get more functionality. So it's the same thing as Apple, right? You get a iPhone 17 versus a iPhone Air versus an iPhone Pro Max. I mean, iPhone Pro Max functionality is different from iPhone, right? So iPhone Pro Max has more functionality. So if you get the basic trading view without paying for trading view, can you still use that? Yes, but you get the basic only. You get minimum things. All right. So if I answer directly, do I need purchase trading view to get your tech indicator after I sign up as a student? The answer is no. You do not need to purchase trading view, because after you sign as my student, you get tech indicator. So you do not need to purchase trading view to get tech indicator. Okay. I mentioned that trading view Black Friday due tomorrow. We have our own Black Friday due tomorrow, and that is a Pro 12 and a Plus 12 due. Okay. In fact, that if you take a look at Telegram announcement, the announcement is out already. The deal is out already. TradingView has a Black Friday discount. All right. And you can log into TradingView tomorrow, I think tomorrow, to look at the TradingView discount. All right. So 8cap doesn't have an offer tomorrow, but TradingView always has a Black Friday deal. Yeah. I think tomorrow you can see already. Or maybe the day after. I'm not sure. Okay, but I always renew my TradingView subscription during the Black Friday deal because it's quite a steep discount. All right. Okay, any questions? Don't have. Is very, very cheap already. Is even cheaper than a Primary 1 tuition. So don't have. No promotion. Only Pro 12 and only Plus 12. And everyone only limited to maximum 2 years per product. Yes. We cannot let you stack too much. Too many. Okay. All good? Okay. So I hope that you can sign for the course because it's a very good deal. As far as my opinion, I think so. I think it's a very good deal. How about the rest of the student? What do you think? Okay, I think the students are off to lesson already. So do take this to when it's available, because when you come back next year, the price will be very, 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 very different. It will be a very, very steep price increase. Okay, thanks a lot. I will see you again. I have one more session to look at the text signals and whatever that we screen to talk about that. And that will conclude our November session. What I strongly encourage you to do is to go and get an 8cap account first. Okay, try to log in an 8cap account. Try to log in the cashback. That means that, okay, if 8cap offer lower, but at least you already log it in. You tell them, hey, look, when I came to you, that was when I have the $1,500 cashback. Now you offer lower already, but I still have the $1,500 cashback, something like that. Do log in earlier, and then this is the link for us to sign our course. Okay, all right, the Tor Pro course. Okay, thank you very much. Have a good evening. Bye bye.